Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Delusional Richard Dawkins thinks Elon Musk is a good guy.
Oh, okay. That's what?
This is coming to us from friendlyatheist.com, haven't meta. So yeah. There's one thing we've learned about Elon Musk over the past few years is that he's not a tech genius. He's a red-pilled billionaire who has used his unimaginable wealth to make one dumb decision after another, at least if the goal is to make the world a better place. So no, not all of his decisions have been dumb for himself. Like, he's been lucky about which companies he has bought at which times. And, like, if you actually look into, like, how he made his fortune from the fortune that he started with, how he made his massive fortune from the moderate fortune that he began with, it's, like, it really was just luck.
Like, he just happened to buy the right companies when he should have.
Yeah, essentially. That's basically it. And then once he had enough money, it eventually became a thing of, like, hey, it would be cool if this would happen. Now here's a bunch of money, make it happen. And then sometimes some of that would happen.
Yeah, sometimes you get a rocket to be caught, and other times you get a tunnel that is fucking stupid.
Yeah. And then other times you reinvent the train.
Yeah.
Except you make it worse.
Have you seen that thread? There was a thread on Twitter a while ago that was like the times that tech bros reinvented the train. Or just like discovered the train, and it's just all these different design concepts, but they're all made like post 2015.
I like
and it's just a fucking rail car.
I like the one that's like a rail car on stilts that like travels over top of the highways, over top of the other cars, and it's like just picturing an accident with that thing where like a car smashes into one of the legs. Now everybody's dead. Like, meanwhile, there are a lot of places where the train tracks just run parallel to the road. You can just get on the train.
It turns out just having a good transit system where the actual rail is above the road or parallel to the road works way better than whatever the fuck that design is.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, this is what you were getting at earlier, is that Trump has appointed Elon Musk along with Vivek Ramaswamy to run the Department of Government Efficiency.
DOGE department.
Which is the DOGE department. Yeah, ha ha ha, funny. But like, what Hemant here is pointing out is like, and a lot of people have pointed out, is like, it's a Department of Efficiency but requires 2 people to run it. And also, like, you're creating a new government organization to make sure that there aren't too many government organizations. Like, sorry?
It just kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, like, it shouldn't be
it's literally just like, if Elon Musk... It's literally just that Elon Musk donated enough money.
Yeah.
So that Trump went, okay, cool, you have a position in my government because you donated money. And I'm going to be honest, that should be fucking illegal.
Yeah.
Because that's just quid pro quo. That's all that is.
Is it not illegal? Because I feel like this is one of those things that is illegal, but because these guys get away with whatever the fuck they want, it's not like nothing's going to come of it.
It's apparently not illegal enough.
Yeah. But yeah, no, but on top of that, like, a whole Department of Government Efficiency, it shouldn't be a department. Like, if anything, if this needs to exist in the first place, it should be just like one guy, like the Secretary of Government Efficiency. It shouldn't be a department. So its very existence defeats its own purpose.
Don't tell Musk that. He needs it for his ego.
I mean, everything that man does at this point defeats its own purpose. But, yeah, Musk is a rich shit poster with a giant marketing budget, a guy creepy enough to say that he would impregnate Taylor Swift because he can't handle the idea of childless women. Pointing out guys like him are obsessed with fertility rates, taking care of his own children, not so much. Impregnating people, absolutely. So, oh yeah, the U.S. Government Accountability Office exists too. So, like, yeah, that already is kind of that. So, like, it's a redundant department that is supposed to be focused on efficiency. Like, what?
Nope. It's just here so that Musk can feel important.
Yeah, so as one critic put it, as just a guy on Twitter, Musk is an apartheid, blood emerald skipping dipshit illegal alien who's never invented anything but acquires businesses and hostile board takeovers, then gets sued for racial discrimination over and over and over. Is he an illegal immigrant? Did
So
he not?
his immigration status was called into question about a month ago.
Like,
And he's
legitimately called
even-
into question, or called into
Yes.
question a la show me Barack Obama's birth certificate?
No, even Elon Musk has said that his citizenship in the United States is kind of dubious.
Oh, fucking deport the motherfucker.
You know, in a functional country, we might. Just
No, in a functional
we're gonna
country,
do-
he's way too rich. They're still gonna just let him do whatever the fuck he wants.
in a functional country, we look at him the same way that France looked at their nobles. Just saying.
So why the hell does Richard Dawkins think Musk is one of the smartest, most altruistic men alive?
Because Richard Dawkins is an idiot in everything but his field.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, even in his field... actually, I don't know about that. It's like, I'm saying even in his field, thinking he's a biologist, and so he should have a better understanding of the difference between sex and gender, and how sex is not a binary, it's actually bimodal spectrum. But thinking back on... I'm pretty sure that his area of expertise is actually specifically zoology. So like
Not microbiology.
Yeah, it's not genetics, it's not microbiology, it's not reproductive biology. Like, it's not something that would necessarily impart that knowledge on him. So yeah, he might be a very excellent zoologist who has no clue what the fuck he's talking about when it comes to reproduction.
No, and that is likely the case. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to say any particular creator names because I don't need to throw other people under the bus, but like when people positively associate with Dawkins now, it leaves a really fucking bad taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me reconsider the respect I had for content creators who still buddy up to him.
So apparently Musk's won't have to divest of his assets because he claims DOGE is a consulting department, not a government department, but DOGE has a gray check mark, which I guess is the color for government departments. Yeah, I hadn't even considered that. I didn't, like, are you supposed to divest if you're in charge of a government department? That makes sense that you would.
It would make perfect sense.
But Trump didn't have to divest when he was president last time. He made a show of divesting to his kids that he then put in charge of a bunch of government shit. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter whether or not he's supposed to. He's not going to, and nobody's going to make him. Yeah, anyway, back to the article. Yesterday, Dawkins rightly called Trump out as a mendacious, malevolent, transparently evil man, but then added that Musk was diametrically opposed to Trump and had the welfare of the world at heart. I don't know, because he's fucking sucking the guy's dick. He hoped that Musk would therefore steer Trump in the right direction. So notably, none of the pictures are showing up in my pocket pull of this article. I recommend going to read the original article yourself, because there's more than what I'm just seeing here. But Elon Musk responded to Dawkins, so I took a screenshot. It says, "I very much disagree with your assessment of Trump. He has been the subject of extreme media propaganda. He won the hearts and minds of the American people for good reasons." So Dawkins was like, Elon Musk, you're like, Trump is terrible, but Elon Musk is good. And Elon was like, nope, you're wrong. I'm terrible too. So,
yeah, just let's put another docket on things Dawkins has done and said that are wrong.
so yeah, he and Trump are on the, none of that praise is warranted because Musk is not diametrically opposed to Trump in any meaningful way. He and Trump are on the same page, and they're both willing to destroy everyone who they think is an obstacle to acquiring more power. At which point he brought up the Elon Musk response, and Dawkins was trying to salvage Musk's reputation, only to have Musk come along and say, nope, I'm with Trump now. And like, yeah, this is just one of those things where like Elon needs to learn when to shut the fuck up.
Dawkins also needs to learn when to shut the
yeah, they
fuck
both
up.
need to learn that. I mean, it kind of worked out for him anyway, because like, yeah, now he's going to be like in bed with the most powerful man in the world. Yeah, no, his not shutting the fuck up has worked for him. Never mind. The world needs to learn how to shut him the fuck up. Not gonna, like, that's not a call to violence. So Dawkins has been fawning over Elon for over a decade, and some of that might have been understandable years ago. Musk fooled a lot of people into thinking he was the brains behind all of his operations rather than the guy primarily funding it all, but if you didn't know it before, it's damn near impossible to ignore now. I want to say it was around 2015, which I think is when he made the comments about nuking Mars as part of a terraforming project. That's when I started to stop seeing him as a brilliant businessman, and started seeing him as like, oh, so he's just a guy with a lot of money that throws out a bunch of ideas, and then his engineers and scientists do the work to make some of them happen. Like, that's when I made the transition to describing him that way. And I probably had more respect for him back then than I do now. But, like, he's been chipping away at that for years.
Yeah.
So.
Any goodwill that existed for him just kind of slowly depleted. Also, Nakibri, thank you for the resubscription. And Ivana as well. Sorry I missed yours before.
It melted like the ice caps on Mars would if we nuked them.
Man, what is it? What is nuking Mars to terraform it going to actually accomplish other than just make the land an arid wasteland?
Well, the idea was you nuke the poles, and then all the water that's there melts and evaporates and becomes a thick layer of water vapor around the planet, which then warms it.
Right,
however,
but it's nuclear fallout.
Well, yeah, but only at the poles. And, like, if you wait...
And then where does the water go?
I don't know. Well, it's the idea is that it is now terraformed and you've warmed the planet and it starts a water cycle and then you can plant plants or whatever. But regardless, Mars is actually, if I recall correctly, it's Mars is too small. Its gravity is too weak to actually hold on to an atmosphere. So all that would do is take all this water that is on Mars and move it to space. So now it is harder to access when you're there.
Like, technically, you could increase the gravity on Mars by adding mass to Mars, but like...
Oh, yeah, so let's just throw a bunch of asteroids at it.
Yeah,
good idea, sir. And throw the asteroids at the poles, and then it'll... Shit, my headphones just gave out, I think. No, they didn't. Yeah, so no, just throw the asteroids at the poles, melts the stuff, adds gravity. Yeah, perfect.
You know what? I mean, Hillary Clinton was right. We should Pokemon go to the poles.
As Dawkins, who fashions himself a rational thinker, able to spot delusional thinking, he remains one of Musk's biggest fans. And it's not just Dawkins here. His fellow science promoter, Lawrence Krauss, who notably, there were credible accusations of sexual harassment against Lawrence Krauss several years ago. So that's the kind of company that Dawkins keeps. Was giddy about Musk offering a one-word response to his latest article blasting DEI initiatives that offered federal funding to historically marginalized groups. So yeah, Krauss wrote an article where, as we say here, he asked...
As a white person, I think that it's better when the blacks don't have jobs around me.
Yeah, basically. No, he...
paraphrasing.
Yeah, so he wrote an article about how a lot of money goes to DEI instead of science for science stuff, like for the National Science Foundation. And I guess he emailed Musk something about it, and Musk responded with one, I think it was like brilliant or definitely or something like that.
One of his one-word responses, interesting.
Yeah. And so Krauss got all excited about that. But like, even in his article, like what they did was they Hammett kind of is a bit of a straw man. He says in his article that over 10% of the U.S. National Science Foundation's grants were for DEI initiatives rather than science. He calculated this, I shit you not, by asking ChatGPT to decide if each of the NSF's grants in 2023 were primarily scientific or DEI. That's a bit reductionist. It is what happened, but like the way I pictured this was he just went to like the ChatGPT website and typed in, hey, ChatGPT, how many of the NSF's grants for 2023 were scientific versus how many were DEI? And then ChatGPT bullshitted an answer as it does. But no, they actually like downloaded the list of grants and what their purposes were and fed that into ChatGPT and then asked ChatGPT to summarize that. So like this was an actual like trained data set sort of, except he acknowledged right in the article that like if you word the prompt differently, you're going to get different results, and a lot of the results we looked at wouldn't necessarily fall cleanly into one category or the other. So basically he explained why his results were bullshit and then was like, yeah, but we're just still gonna go with them anyway. So like, yay, science.
Remember, just astoundingly profound scientific minds can also be raging idiots.
Well, also this is assuming that like you can't have an affirmative action grant that has a scientific purpose. Like, hey, I'm going to give money to gay researchers to research gay stuff.
Sometimes I pull on it so hard, I rip the skin.
That's researching.
You
gay
are
stuff.
researching gay stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's what I mean though. Like you give money to a marginalized group of scientists who like they're going to approach it with different experiences and perspectives than heterosexual cis white guy scientists. Like the white male body is the most studied body in science. And the reason for that is because most of the people doing science have historically been white males. So,
When was it that we discovered that malaria actually can be combated by sickle cell anemia?
I don't know, but that's been in the textbooks for years. Rosina for $4.99 says Lawrence Krauss has a section relationship with Jeffrey Epstein on his Wikipedia page, so there's that. Oh, yeah, I didn't know about that, but I'm not terribly surprised. Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah, no, so like it's the fact that he's trying to categorize everything as either it is scientific or it is DEI is like those are not mutually exclusive categories. Like, hey, maybe they gave a grant to a bunch of researchers to research the impact of DEI policies. That would be DEI, would it not? And like that could potentially come back with results that support the bullshit that Krauss wants it to. Like, if DEI is actually a problem, research like that would come back with results that DEI is a problem. But Krauss's little thingy there would just categorize that as DEI. Therefore, it's not science. So, like, I don't know. It's just bullshit.
I love the world we live in now. It's so functional.
Yeah. So these so-called science advocates are bending over backward to celebrate someone whose biggest contribution to science may be facilitating the spread of misinformation. Yeah, that's a little bit of irony here, is that these people who, like, their careers have ostensibly been science communication, and now they're fawning over this guy who is the top spreader of misinformation possibly in the world right now. So, Musk is also a climate denier. You would think Krauss, who wrote a whole damn book about climate change, would spend more time being critical of that, but even after Musk pushed those lies in a conversation with Trump months ago, Krauss pushed back in the mildest of ways, saying of Musk, "I am hoping he was just trying to be polite." To which Hemant adds, he wasn't. Musk's brain really is that broken.
Yeah.
Also, in case you were wondering if Sam Harris is also a piece of shit, he is. Dawkins promoted a post by, Jerry Coyne as well is hopping on the anti-trans bandwagon. Like, that one actually made me a little sad because Jerry Coyne, I don't know, I had a lot of respect for him before.
But, had being the operative word.
Yeah. Yeah, Dawkins promoted a post by Coyne promoting Sam Harris, who was falsely claiming that trans issues were to blame for the Democrats losing the election. This is a big theme that I've been seeing a lot, is that there are a lot of people not on the left, but like the more moderate Democrats that are being like, oh yeah, no, it's because of our support for trans issues that we lost this election, so we need to throw trans people under the bus so we can win elections again. Be like,
luckily that doesn't seem to have actually happened.
No.
Like we're very lucky that there seems to be enough pushback against any Democrats trying to argue that the trans vote is what killed their ability to get the election. And I hope that that pushback keeps its energy for the next 4 years.
Yeah. Well, at least 2 years, because there's a House election in 2 years.
Yeah, there's a House election in 2 years, but the House election, let's be perfectly honest.
Let's start working to flip the House now. Anyway, he goes on, he says, incidentally, the Center for Inquiry, which merged with Dawkins Foundations, just published a lengthy article from CEO Robin Blummer condemning doctors who work with trans children, saying, I hope their malpractice insurance is paid up. Blumner writes, they are going to need it. She expressed those thoughts after accepting without question the deeply problematic claims made in the Cass review, which, yeah, there have been so many reviews of the Cass review that have been published in peer-reviewed journals. They're just like, no, this thing's a piece of shit that does not actually adequately describe the research.